this is quite a unique crisis for many countries. That this is not like the global financial crisis when the crisis hit a financial sector. In fact, this is probably the first crisis that uniquely disproportionately hit a lot of the traded services that now represent large shares of many economies. So as Ibrahim said, we have a very different crisis to face in a country that is like Ethiopia, that is focused heavily on the transport sector. And the governments had to move very adeptly to rethink how the airline industry and Ethiopian Airlines can move from a passenger heavy focus to a shipment heavy focus in order to minimize the losses of that sector. So we had a very non-traditional crisis that is the focus of our conversation today. But on top of that, we also had a very traditional oil price shock that came also from the effects of the global demand shock that Dr. Ricardo Villasmil mentioned earlier. So for the countries, the oil country economies that we also work with, we had to differentiate the nature of these crises. That there were short-term shocks to sectors like tourism, transport, and others that were unprecedented and non-traditional. But there was also this long-term shock to the adjustment necessary to move towards the long-term adjustment to oil prices. So when countries had to think about the new fiscal deficits they were undertaking, we spent significant time trying to guide them through what is the difference between what is the necessary additional health expenditures to address the virus, the health expenditures in order to save livelihoods, but also how do you need to really adjust the fiscal break-even oil price to the long term. And in particular, we really emphasize the need to restore market confidence to ensure that the debt plan is sustainable, that any new debt for this shock would still restore confidence that the long-term plan was there. So Ricardo can speak to some of the work that Semire mentioned in Jordan, as well as Albania. But this crisis came with many different shocks in many different countries. And the oil economies were certainly feeling the brunt of this crisis on many fronts. And yet there has been some strong management within restoring market confidence on the debt plans in many of these economies.